Hello everyone, after a long while, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna look at WordPress shortcodes. We're gonna see what they are, we're gonna see how you can make one, and we're gonna even look at how you can make complex shortcodes that you can actually customize. So without any further ado, let's go to the computer and see how we can deal with this shortcode stuff. So here we are in the functions.php file, and the first thing we need to know is that there are two types of shortcodes. There are dynamic shortcodes and there are static shortcodes. The first we're going to look at are static ones. The first thing that we need to do when we do anything in WordPress, it starts with a function. I mean, when we do almost anything in WordPress, it starts with a function. So this is a function that will actually output our shortcode message. So let's do something really simple and just return a message. Hello from a static shortcode. Now after this, the next thing we need to do is register this shortcode. How do we do that? Really simple. There is an action that's called add shortcode. You can see it's even automatically completed. So the first thing we need to name here is how actually we want to call the shortcode. So we will call it static shortcode, just for the brevity of it. And then we need to make a reference to the function. Just as anything with WordPress, we have to set it in quotation marks. And now we can use this shortcode. Let's just open this website and let's go to a post. We're gonna make a new post. Best. It's gonna be the best post. And here we can have a block and just use the shortcode, put the square brackets. And now let's just publish the shortcode. Let's view the post. And you can see here that this is the message we have from the shortcode. Hello from a static shortcode. And if you want to actually change the message here, we can do it again. We have just changed the message. I'm gonna refresh it and we can see here that it's actually updated on the front end. But honestly, this is kind of useless, right? We want the shortcode to do something more complex. Well, the good news is that actually we can make the shortcode do pretty much anything. So for example, we can run a query. Let's do that, okay? So we're gonna have still a static shortcode, but this one will have a query with it. Let's call it shortcode with query. The first thing that we need obviously are the arguments of the query. You're gonna do the post, the classic post type, and then let's just say 5 posts per page. Okay, now we add a WP query object with the arguments we have defined earlier, and now we can just query and loop over the results and then echo them back in the shortcode. Just for the case of brevity, I'm gonna copy and paste the code, but you can pause the video and have a look at what's here. It's actually, we are defining an output variable that starts with some HTML. Then we just loop over the post, and for each post that we have, we add a new item. Then if there are no posts, we just say no post found. Then we close the div that we have opened here, and then we just return the output. And again, don't forget, we have to actually register the shortcode. So again, let's go with add shortcode. We're gonna call it query shortcode. And shortcode with query, it's actually the callback function. Now let's edit the post again. And let's add a new shortcode. Shortcode here. Actually, that's wrong. This is correct. Update, and let's view the post again. And you can see here that the shortcode is actually working. And by the way, if you want to get this code and a lot more useful WordPress code snippets, I have compiled the WordPress code snippets cheat sheet that you can download using the link in the description. It's totally free, no strings attached. Let's get back to shortcodes now. Okay, but now what about if you want to actually have control over what you want to show, like how many posts you want to show, or even what kind of post types you want to show. Maybe you want to show a custom post type or something else. How do you do that? Well, you can do that easily with a dynamic shortcode, and it's here how you can actually create a dynamic shortcode in WordPress. So let's go with dynamic shortcodes. Again, we want to actually define the function first. And now for this function, we want to have some default attributes in case the user hasn't inputted anything. But also we want to check if they have inputted one or all the attributes or the arguments. We want to actually take those into consideration. Luckily, WordPress has a function that does all that, so we don't have to build it from scratch. So let's go here. Let's say, actually, let me just use it as attributes rather than arguments. The function is shortcodes @. You can see it's already auto-completed here. So what arguments are we giving to this function? Well, usually it's first an array, and for this array we will actually use the arguments for the WP query. The first thing would be the post type, which you're gonna say post. Then the second one is gonna be how many posts per page do we want. Let's go with 5. And after this, we have to specify the values which these will be overwritten. So we're gonna say atts, atts, the atts as in the attributes that are actually coming from the function. Okay, now what we need to do is just go back to what we did before. Yeah, now we need the WordPress query, so we need the arguments first. And what we'd have to do is actually, because we are taking user input, we need to use for example, this is a text field. It's text input basically. We need to sanitize it, and actually we take from this array attributes, we take the post type value of the array. Then again, we go to post per page, we make sure that this is a number, it's an integer, and we take the post per page that the user has provided or the default post per page that we already have in this shortcode. The next thing is gonna be the same as before. We are actually going to just copy this from here. And now again, we have to register the shortcode. I'm gonna call it dynamic shortcode. Sorry, I'm gonna call it dynamic content. Let's save it, and now let's just edit the post. I'm gonna replace this one with the dynamic content, and now if we don't add anything to it, we should see it work exactly as the old one. And guess what? It does. But right now, let's just go back and add a custom post type. I don't think I have a custom post type for this. Oh, I do have products. Okay, we have products here. We have no products. So let's see how it works. We go back to the best post, and in dynamic content, we're gonna say post type, it's products. Let's see how it works. We should see no post found. So, well, it's actually is no products, but we can see we have the output that we haven't found anything. So let's go and create some.
Let's go here, create.
Add products. Add new product. Product 1. Publish.
Publish. New product. Product 2. Publish, publish.
Okay, now let's just refresh this page and we can see, hey, we have two products. But let's say we want to show only one post per page. I'm just going to copy it from here to be faster, and let's go with one post per page, one product in this case. Let's go, and guess what? It's gonna actually show the latest product we've done. If I were to add a new product, let's just add a few more products. Add another product. 4. Publish this product. Now we're gonna still see one product, product 4, but for example, if we go to, I want to show 3 products per page, we're gonna see the latest 3 products. So this is how you make regular shortcodes. But there is one more thing that you can do with shortcodes, is that you may have seen the shortcode that you can put content in between them. Shortcodes that go something like this. You open the shortcode, you do some content there, and then close the shortcode. So let's do something. How do we start? We start as usual by declaring a new function. We're gonna have 2 arguments here. We're gonna have first the attributes that we have already declared before, and then we're gonna have the content, which is we're gonna call just content, and we're gonna say that by default it's null. And now what do we do here? Well, we actually just want to return the content. So let's just do this for example for right now, and add the shortcode. Okay, now let's see how we can use it actually, right? Let's go back to the post. We're gonna start the shortcode, which is this one. Actually, let me put in between the brackets. We're gonna do something here. And then we're gonna close the shortcode. Okay, if we update and then view post, we can see that there is some text there. But what is the purpose for this kind of shortcode? Well, actually the purpose is to affect the text, the content in some way. You can hide the content, you can just have it a different color. For example, let's just make it style, it's text, it's color red. Now, all the content should be red, supposedly. Let's just update it and then view the post. Yeah, and now all the text in this one is red. Well, this has been really a simple and silly example, but you can do a lot more stuff like hiding content, showing content based on user roles, and all kinds of crazy stuff. But because I don't really want this video to go on for too long, I'm gonna keep it short and end it up here. So right now, if you've been paying attention to this video, you actually know how to create a new shortcode, make it dynamic, make it with a lot more functionality than just displaying a custom message on the website, and you can use it for heavily customizing your website. So I hope you found this helpful, and don't forget, if you want to get this code that we've written here and actually a lot more useful snippets that you can have at hand and really help you speed up your development time, you can get the WordPress snippets cheat sheet from the description. So until next time, I hope you have a